Right, we finally got it working. Welcome back to VP4 TV, and welcome to my only viewer, Slim. I think. Welcome to Dwight. Dwight's arrived. Well, it's probably going to be a bit of a bloodbath. I've tried to give Spud all the encouragement he needs. I think the way to look at this match is not necessarily how well Spud plays. Obviously, that's going to play a part. I'm looking to see him try to make a match of it in at least one of the racks. We're probably expecting, now I presume you can hear me, we're probably expecting a comfortable 3-0 win for Tommyy. But it is down to how Tommyy plays. Now, Tommyy might get a bit loose and take things a bit for granted. And there's always a possibility of that backfiring on him. But Spud Boy's got to play with a bit of common sense and try and accumulate some points. I haven't seen Spud Boy playing in this tournament, but we're about to see it because Tommyy has arrived. Spud Boy isn't bothered with any sort of practice. He's sitting in the chat, so clearly he either thinks he's fine as he is, or he's just waiting on the inevitable happening. I would like to see him give it a go, and we'll get an idea of how his caroms are at, because he says that's where he struggles. Welcome to Brain Fill Out. But you never know. Strange things can happen, but it's asking a lot for strange things to happen for 5 racks, if it was ever going to go that length. But it's down to Tommyy. Tommy's got to show that he's scoring enough that would lead us to believe that he's still going to be a big danger on this one-loss side. Yeah, well, it's a different kettle of fish tonight. So we had the match earlier on today, the one between Interchange X and Tornado Tam, the round 3 match, and that ended up being a bit of a disappointment, especially if you're a Scot, because not only are the English out of the World Cup, the Scots are out of the Cowboy World Championship, and Tam went down with not a lot to show for it, and what he did get, he promptly lost. He had a glimmer of a chance in that 3rd rack, and that eventually died. Interchange X, I think he got one decent run that I can remember, maybe a 30 odd or something after that, but not an awful lot to impress that he's going to go really deep in the tournament. Of course, he has won though, and he is through to round 4, which is all that matters. But as we mentioned earlier, or I mentioned earlier, he's going to have to play the winner of the match between Mr. Fox and Cobra, and either of whoever he gets is going to be a much tougher task than what he had today. So in order for Interchange X to survive, he's certainly going to have to up the stakes a fair bit. Now the room is up, we'll get ourselves in, we'll get ready, we'll have the lag for the break, and well, good luck to both. I'm hoping for a bit of better good luck for Spud Boy to keep him interested. Well, that's what happens, you know. It's the type of risky play that we tend to be, and I'm talking about myself and Tam, we tend to be in the habit of playing like that. And, you know, as I say, sometimes it works and you get away with it, but as we saw today, more often than not it doesn't. And you end up shedding points like there's no tomorrow. And Tam lost a bucket load. So he did, especially the big run that he had. I think he had a 50 odd, or was in the middle of a 50 odd, lost that, and lost countless others. So Tommy's in. Tommy's good to go. Spud Boy may well be sitting asleep in the lobby. So we're waiting on him arriving. quick check on the outside temperature. Now it was -3 earlier on. It's supposed to get down to -6. Let's have a look at the phone and do a quick refresh. It's now, let me check the BBC website, see what it says. BBC website showing -3. Right, here we go. Both players are in. And Spud Boy is on the right of the screen. Welcome to repetition. Well, we had a few snow flurries yesterday afternoon. Actually made it a bit milder. We had a sort of milder day yesterday. But it's back to sort of blue skies and the temperature dropping away. Forecast for the next few days is pretty much the same. Although other areas in the north of Scotland and the east of Scotland will be getting any snow that's going. We get very little here where we are. We're sheltered when there's a north or a northeasterly wind. But it usually just ends up being frosty. And it's definitely frosty again tonight. But how hot is Tommyy going to be? And Tommy's up and running. But he's got to impress Tommyy. It's going to be difficult to survive in the one-loss side because there's dangerous opponents already lurking there and there's more to come. There's more going to be coming over. So Tommyy has got to be consistent and good to lead us to believe that he's going to be a point scorer and he's going to be dangerous to bump into. And that 3 ball could end up blocking. It's going a bit awkward. Yeah, I mean, it's perfectly reasonable to cut the 1 ball into the pocket. But he's having a look at the combo. Now this is of course the 3 ball end of the table, so what pace is he going to play this at? You know, he's trying to stay down the table. Well, the 5 ball has gone handy because with the 3 ball on the spot he's got a nice little 2-reeler into the 5. And he's set up for the next carom. That will do. Now, ideally, he wants this 5 ball to go in the pocket if it could. It hasn't. So now he's wanting a decent shot on that 3 and get the cue ball out into the table somewhere up by the 5 spot if he can. I would think that would be the... He's actually trying to stay parallel below or above the 3 as we call it, and that'll be fine. I mean, as long as he was comfortable enough to do that, then he didn't need to let the cue ball run to where I was talking, and that'll do. Again, drop the 3 into the side. Cue ball could probably go to the rail and he'll still be sitting good for the follow-up carom. This is all simple and straightforward for the time being. Now when he plays the carom, again he wants to be careful that he can just try and leave that 5 ball on. So he just wants to push the 5 ball probably onto the short rail but not much further, and that way he can pot the 5 next. Well, he's gone behind it. Now the 3 ball needs to stay out of the way, and that's killed him. That's what can happen. That has just killed him. So now he can go for a possible bank on the 3 ball up and down the table back into that top left hand corner pocket. That I don't know whether that's what he's playing. Yep, and that is beautiful. That is a brilliant little shot. The bank was on, he's picked the line perfectly, and he survives. And also, he can play the little draw into the 3, I think. Just brushed it. Again, wants a ball to stay in play. It's more than likely going to be the 3 ball. But the 1 and the 5 are set pretty good. But what's the angle like on this 3 ball to pot it? And see, that's why he's taking the 5, because the cue ball's going over this way. Now, if he just pots the 5 and runs through, he'll maybe finish up here, but he'll at least have a sight at a couple of shots. So he just wants to roll this in, and not an awful lot of pace in the cue ball. The run is 28, and that's caught him out. Sitting perfectly with the cue ball there now, had he got that 5, but it's going to be Spud Boy with his first visit at the table. Could pot the 5, could play the 5-3 carom. So Tommy's visit, 28. Spud Boy needs to get a response. Straight away, he's got a problem. But what he should be doing is trying to cut that 5. Now, I would cut that 5 with a bit of left English to try and stay up there. If he just runs it, he can end up nowhere. So you've got to be having the thinking process working for you. You know, this is not a great shape in this 5. And if that gets out into the table, that is not bad. That is not bad at all. Now, again, this is just gentle. He wants to hit this 1 ball, half ball either side. It doesn't matter what side. But he doesn't need to thump this. He just needs to let it roll onto it. See, he's hit it a wee bit too full. So now he might take the points off that 5 ball just for the sake of the points. Good evening to Cobra. Now, he looks as if he's putting a lot of draw in this. He might be just trying to kill the pace in the cue ball rather than draw it anywhere. Yeah, he's just trying to kill the pace. Now, this is now out of line, but it's not the most difficult of caroms at that angle. He just needs to look at how thick he's hitting the 5 ball. Because there's nothing to do with the cue ball. It's all just about the hitting the 5 and how thick it is. Now, even from this angle, it looks as if he's going a bit thin. Yeah, he's going way too thin. So that's a real struggle there. I mean, I wasn't even behind the shot, and I could tell the way he was lining up, even from watching from this end of the table, that he's going way, way too thin. So he's not trusting his eyes at all. So it is really going to be a struggle for Spud Boy. Yeah, that shot's not difficult for a Cowboy player, a regular Cowboy player, but you know, again, Spud's one of these players who born and bred in the 9-footer table and hasn't really played an awful lot in the 10-footer, I wouldn't think so. So, I mean, if he gets in reasonable enough shape, you're expecting Spud Boy to make those type of carams, but that's the type of carom that you have to be getting just to keep yourself going in a run. Who knows what he could have got out of that had he actually hit it, but as I say, that was a very, very thin shot. Too thin. He needed about a third of that 5 ball on the left hand side as we looked at it to get to the 1. So Tommy's already put another 10 in the board, so 28 in the first visit, and who knows what from this one. Five ball going on at spot leaves a guaranteed carom to follow. Wonder how hard he's going to hit this, because he just wanted to hit this too hard where he glances off the 5 and scratches, so he's going for the 3 instead, the safer route. Now the question is he trying to come down into this right hand corner for the 1 to the 5? Or no, he's looking, well, he's playing, he was leaving the more difficult shot, I think, and then misses the 5. Now Spud Boy, not a problem in potting this 5 ball, but going forward with the cue ball and coming out that way would give him the 5 to the 1. Now, if he's potting the 3, he's playing the 3 to the 5, you would assume. But I would have already had the 5 ball in the pocket and been up top side. Well, unfortunately, the die-hard Cowboy players are pretty much all in the one-loss side now. VP Monster, predominantly Cowboy. Tornado Tam, predominantly Cowboy. And they're both on the one-loss side. Casino Jim is another one. He's already over there. And some are out the tournament. No names been mentioned. So Spud Boys visit there, only 3, and Tommy's away again. And this may well be the pattern of this match. Tommy's scoring is going to be far more productive than Spud Boys. Well, again, Tommy's missed the carom, so only 7 points this time. And Spud Boy's got an easy force follow to the 3 ball. Let's have a look at see how he's aiming at this. That looks not too bad. Sometimes it's a bit straighter than you think. Now, if you're playing it at that angle, I would put a wee bit of right English on it in case I went to the rail first and then I can kick the 3. He's going a wee bit further again. Yeah, that's caught it. Now, potting the one brings the ball onto its spot. The problem is, though, that the spot, the 3 ball is above on this side. The 3 ball's no good there. And if he can get the 3 ball on its spot, he's got the 3-5. So this just needs to be pocket weight so he's not bumping the cue ball away a great distance. And he sent that into the rail first. And, you know, you've got to make the basic pots, I'm afraid. It wasn't a difficult 3 ball. And little contributions of 1 and 3 aren't going to do it. Tommy's just going to pull away. Now, in between that match that we had earlier on, I've had all I had was sandwiches. I made some quick salmon sandwiches and a cup of tea, but sooner or later that's going to kick in and I'm going to start falling asleep. I'm giving you advance notice. Once my digestive system starts kicking in, the rest of my body starts shutting down for like half an hour or so. So Tommyy getting near the carom phase. I mean, ideally he would have wanted to be nice in that 3 ball, but of course he can't. He can try a bank on the 1, but I think he's got to go for the cut in the 3 now. Oh, he's in 67. What am I talking about? That tells you I'm beginning to go, because I looked at the screen there and thought he was in 87. The eyes have gone. It's already kicking in. Well, Spud Boy back at the table, but he's 50 points down. Again, not a difficult force follow to the 5. And if he hits this 3 ball with a wee bit of pace, he can get it into play. Now, he looks as if he's just playing the pot here. Now that needs to keep rolling, and that's in a good shape. But we've seen how he struggled with that long car. I mean, this is just where he's hitting it now will be fine. And the 5 ball's in play. Now, I don't know whether he'll catch some of that 3, but if I was him, when I'm playing this shot, I'd be playing this with a wee bit of right spin to just get myself up the table. Up high enough here to give me a look at the 5 to the 3 or the 5 to the 1. So he's got to think about the cue ball. This is the type of shot you've got to, you know, let's see, he's stunned into the 3. Now, this needs just a clip off that 1 straight onto the 3. It's a bit thin to be thinning the 1 and catching the rail. He might still get some of the 3, but I'd probably just go direct. Good evening to Semi-Pro. Now, this is again where you'll have to look at the table, right? So the 3 ball goes on this spot here. So what I'd be doing is let's have a look. I'd be coming back an inch or 2 off this 3 ball. Or if the angle's good, see the angle's. See, he's put himself up onto the 5. Now that'll work as long as he doesn't do the numpty cowboy shot. Now this is a numpty cowboy shot that every cowboy player does. and they hit this too hard. Again, all you're doing is hitting this is however thick you hit the 5 will take the line to the 3. Now that's fine, and that's a good shot. Some players have a smack at that because they don't trust their eyes, and then the next thing you know, it hits half ball and scratches. So once again, he's in a shape here where he can manoeuvre this cue ball. Now, I'd be cutting it into the side with a wee bit of left. Just a wee bit of left, but I think he'd just be glad to get it in the hole. I don't know whether the line will get him high enough here. So he's just taking the points, and this is not great. He can go to the rail and bump the 1, but if he plays this right, he can give himself a 2-in-1 shot here. He might have a chance of hitting the 3 as well. That'll do. Now, if he knows what end of the table he's at, he cuts the 3 ball in. If he wants to, he can cut the 5 as long as he comes out into the table or he stays. If he just rolls it in dead weight, he may well have the 5 to the 1. But if he pots the 3, he'll have the 3 on its spot. So the mind's got to be working here. Now this just needs to be gentle. He doesn't want this to leak away too far, this cue ball. Nice and gentle. See, it's leaking away. Now how square is that? Well, he can get to the 1. He's got to stud this 3 in. Now, again, you don't want to put loads of bottom in this. It's just a stun straight onto the 1. And it's roughly not much more than half ball. But don't be afraid to hit it. If you don't hit it, you're not going to get the stun to work. And that'll do it. Now, once again, when you're thinking about what you're doing, you've got to look at what your options are. Now, if the 5 goes in its spot and you play it gentle, you've got a 5 to the 1. That's a wee bit tricky. Now, if you pot the 1, you're running over this side and you're not guaranteed you're going to have a half decent shot. I'd be potting the 5. Let's look at that. If you pot the 5 and the cue ball comes out here, you've got a 5 to the 1. If you're potting the 1, the cue ball's running and you don't necessarily know really where it's going to finish. There could be a collision here. See, this is giving yourself more work to do. And it was the 5 ball every day of the week for me there. So to me that's a mistake, but this is not a difficult shot again for a Cowboy player. 2 or possibly 3 rails into the 5. And again, you don't need any spin. You just need to hit that 1 ball the right thickness to get that running at the right angle. This looks good. And that is nice. And he's kept the 1 ball alive, albeit it's not going to be pretty. But if he pots the 1 and he stays down this end, he's got to have a 1 to the 5 or 3. And this is how you, I mean, it sounds stupid and simple and obvious to say this, but this is how you put runs together in any sort of game, is by thinking about what you're doing. Okay, one of the shots he played there, I wouldn't have played it, but he's still at the table and he pulled off the little Cowboy shot off the 1 to the 5 or whatever it was. You know, so he recovered with a standard Cowboy shot, a standard 2-rail carom. And this couldn't be simpler. Just wants to nudge the 5 and no more and keep it alive. Well, it's gone dead. Now, he can't pot the 5. Now, if you look at where the 3 is, there's a danger here that he goes he goes up this end. Now, if he's going to go up this end, he's got to watch he doesn't track to that pocket one way or another. I don't think he is, looking at the line. Yeah, he's actually gone square. Now, this is just absolute dead weight. All he wants to do is brush the 1 and brush the 5. He just needs to roll it so that he's hitting most of this 5 ball. Nice and thin. Well, that's too thin. But above all, he's kept his points. And that's a nice little run from Spud Boy. That's encouraging. He didn't do anything really numptish, like I said. And if he applies himself like that, then he's going to get his points and keep them. And Tommyy now, with the open table, having played a pot and a carom. And he's still got an open table. But now, he's going to have to deal with just the 1 ball, because the cue ball has held the 5 spot. And he might just begin to believe a wee bit himself, having and put that nice little run together. You know, he's just got to keep on the same track. You know, because in general, you know, players like Tommyy and all the other guys, they're the ones that are doing what is necessary every time you shoot. You think about what you're doing. You think about the lay of the table, and you try and manoeuvre that cue ball to the spot that's going to give you the best opportunity. Well, I think the 5 ball goes clean, so he's fine. Now this is a wee bit more tricky for Tommyy. He's going to have to leave a long distance carom here, I would think. I don't think he's trying to get into towards the 1 ball. I think it's going to be the 5 to the 3. And would you believe it, he's missed a straight in 5 ball. He's taken his eye off the 5 ball because of the spot he wants the cue ball to finish in there. And that's a big mistake by Tommyy. And Spud Boy, well, he's got an easy start. I don't know whether he wants to play the 1 onto the 5 or whether he wants to pot the 5 clean. But he's going to have a similar problem in a second or two. And that's clever. Because although it's not finished pretty, he's got a long straight 5, or he's got the 5 to the 3. You can have another practice at this this long distance carom. And again, it's not a difficult carom. You know, you look at the line off that 5 ball, and the 3 ball's quite a big target. But he's taken the pot instead because it was the open table. And again, he's got to practice these longer distance caroms. 1 ball is a big target again. Got to find this line off this 5 ball. Now, that might be a wee bit thick. No, it's a better line now that I see him hitting it. And he's just caught it. Now, I'd be cutting the 1 and coming across the table twice. Got to cut the 1. If you cut the 5, again you're leaving yourself a long distance carom. But I'd be trying to stay in the kitchen one way or another to at least give me a sight of something. He's got to watch what he's doing with the cue ball here. If he's hitting a plain ball, he's just running loose. Now, well, this is the test. He can stun from the 1 to the 5, or he can try the long distance carom. But to me, the easier shot for Spud Boy is probably the stun. Now you see, he looks as if he's putting too much draw in this. I mean, let's have a look. Well, he's lining up, so he's not set to play the shot yet. He's just looking at his options. You've got to watch you don't miss the 5 and go into the pocket. I see he's got too much bottom in the cue ball there. So again, though, it's only 13 points, but at least he's kept them. But Tommyy now should be into the carom phase. Now that might have gone ugly straight away, and it has done. He's trying to go to the end rail. No, he's going for the old draw bailout. Oh, and he gets the bonus of the 3 ball. Now, has that blown him out of the water, or does that take him to 90? Aye, it has done. 86, the 3 ball going in, and the carom gets him to 90. Now, earlier on I was talking in the match with Tam and Interchange X. When Interchange X was into the carom phase, I was mentioning about Tam trying to keep this 1 ball safe to just give him another few chances to try and creep back at Interchange X. And Tam did do that for a little spell. And I wonder if Spud Boy's going to be aware, because there are dangerous places this 1 ball can end up. When it gets nearer that mark, when it gets nearer the 100, you've got to start paying attention to where the 1 ball's going to be left when it's your chance at the table. Especially if you're not set up with an easy carom, you've got to be careful in what you're leaving. Well, Spud Boy's missed the pot. And the force follow is on for Tommyy. That looks, let's a closer look, that looks a reasonable line. Now the danger, of course, is where the 5 ball is. Anything that you chip at this side of the 5 ball, you're going to knock it into the hole. But there's still room to get to it from the long rail and get it out of there. And that looks a good line as well. It's going to be hard work though, with the 5 ball being in there. Yeah, Tommyy trying to get it out of there. Good effort. And once again though, nothing, not even the pot is a gimme here for Spud Boy. And if he cuts the 1 into the right hand corner, which obviously is what he's going to do, he's going to end up the top of the table. Unless he rolls this in dead weight and just tries to get above the kitchen line, which would be not a bad shot. Now how well is he thinking? Well, he's hung the 1, no damage done. He would have had a shot from the 1 to the 5, and of course the 1 ball is dead for Tommyy for the time being. So Tommy's odds in getting a carom here are not great. Now, the perfect scenario here for us that want to see a match is Spud Boy getting in and putting another 20 odd or more on the board. And now again, he's got to pot the one. He's got to grab the bull by the horns and stay in the kitchen on that side of the table, the right side of the table. You can check the cue ball up a bit just to kill a bit of the pace of it. And if he goes outside the kitchen, not too far above the kitchen line, and you'll have a shot from the 1 to the 5 either way. You know, he's going to stay inside, but he's not come out far enough, I don't think, for comfort, has he? Well, he can get away with that. He can get away with that. I'd be hitting this a wee bit firmer to get the 5 ball out of there. And also keep the 1 ball in play, which he's done. Well, now you've got to stay below the 5 ball, so you cut the 5 ball. If you're going to pot the 1, you've got to go over that right side, and you're going to play a long distance carom from the 1 to the 5, which might need a bit of stun to get into the 5, or you can go a couple of rails into the 5 down this left side as we look. So you've got an option here. Either way, it's 1 onto the spot or 5 onto the spot, and a choice of 2 different shots. So it's the 5 to the 3, and these are the ones that Spud Boy just needs to get more practice at them. And the more shots he leaves like this, the more practice he's going to get, and he's eventually going to see where he's going wrong. Just caught it again too thin. All that hard work for 7 points. Now Tommyy can overcut the 1 with right English and spin along to the 3. Well, that's knocked to 3 pretty much dead. Good afternoon, good evening to Blind Hog. Oh, well. I was expecting him to get that one. Well, an easy start here for Spud Boy. Just have a look at the 3, see how thin it is into the pocket. And it's just a gentle roll, because the 3 goes on its spot, cue ball comes up to about here, gentle roll that is, and you're lined up for a 5-1 carom, no problem whatsoever. So there's not a lot of thought involved in this, just dink this in and no more. And again, you've got to trust your mouse, you've got to have your mouse settings right so that you can trust yourself to play that little dink. And well, you've got to hit the ball as well, Spud Boy. And what's more, he's set Tommyy up here for an easy start. Well, you know you're doing something wrong when you're actually not even hitting the object ball. You're not aiming at all. Well, there's a nice little 2 or 3 railer to the 5. And for once we're going to see somebody actually having a go at it. I think he's just going to catch it the wrong side, and he's got away with it. Now again, he can have another go at this off the 1. The line is good off the 1. It's how much you hit the 1 ball. There's no spin needed here. It's all about the line off the 1 ball, and you know straight away you've got it wrong. And this looks good. This looks excellent, although he's pushing it to the hole. Well, if he's brave, he'll have another go, but this time he might want to put a bit of spin on it, because what you want to do here is you want to hit the 1, go to the rail and get the spin to send you over that way, so that you're hitting the 5 from this side. And that's what he should be doing. It's a wee bit tricky, because if you get the line wrong, you're always going to scratch. And he's trying to go in the inside. And, well, lo and behold, the commentator's curse got it. But I don't blame Tommy for doing that, because I like to see players having a go. And that's where you'll live or die in your sword by playing those shots. And we're not seeing enough of them. We're not seeing enough players been brave enough to have a go at them. But might have been a different story if Tommy was playing somebody else. We'll soon see. Now this time, Spud Boy has to get the 3 ball in the hole. I think he's... How's that look? Well, if he's going to get to the 3, it's either the stun or he's going to chip the 3 thin, go to the rail and come back out and hit the 1. Probably the stun. But nothing left easy. Now, Spud Boy is on 72 and he's that close from getting to 90. He needs to pick it up here, because he's got a chance. And Tommy is running out of patience. He wants something on the spot to work with here, and that's laying it on the table here for Spud Boy, because he's got an easy start as far as the pot goes. But once again, how's the line in this 5 ball? Well, he's dead straight. Now, is it worthwhile potting that 5 ball when he could be potting the 3 ball and having it more adjacent to the 1? And if you pot the 3, depending on the pace you play it, you can get off the rail and across and back out one way or another. If you pot the 5, where are you finishing? Well, he's going to fluke the 5, and he's called his own bluff here, because now he's landed on a carom. Well, you take what you can get in this game. It's not about the fluke, it's about what you make from it. Well, make sure you look at the spot before you pot the 3, and the 3's fine. Sorry, what am I talking about? That's the 1 spot. I don't even know what end of the table I'm at. Well, again, let's have a look at that line. So where the 3 ball is right now, well, if he's potting a 1, he's got to stay in the kitchen. I would have potted the 3. And he's come outside the kitchen, and now he's nowhere. No, he's not. I'm nowhere. That is definitely my dinner kicking in. Just ignore everything I'm saying for the next half an hour. My mind is gone. I'm just desperate to see Spud Boy get to 90, and then he's in the game. And that will do it. Now, even in this shot, how thick can you hit that 5 where you might even be potting it and still caroming the 1? Can you pot the 5 and still hit the 1 ball? Because you're going to stay in the kitchen area probably, and you should have a follow-up shot. Now, he doesn't want to block himself out, and he hasn't. And now it's tricky. He's going to be in 89 unless he tries to draw to the 1 as well, which he might be able to do here. No, the angle wasn't good. Well, it's another one of these practice shots. And again, this is not difficult. This is as nice and thin. Just brush the 5 and catch anything of that 3 ball and not kill the 5 ball dead to the rail. And that'll do it. And he's still got a chance to get another one here. Again, it's got to be a similar pace, but he can't chicken out. How brave are you going to be, Spud boy? Or are you going to go for the 2-in-1 shot? He might be going for the 2-in-1. And again, it doesn't need any spin. It's how thick you hit the one ball that matters. And that's too thin. And again, he's teeing up Tommyy here with this follow-up. But he's kept his points and he's on the carom phase. And literally anything can happen like that. And Spud Boy's got a similar shot in return. Nice and thin off that 5. Now what's happened to Spud Boy? Don't tell me he's gone. The cue's still there. Oh no, there he is. Now what's he looking at here, because it's definitely 5-3. He's looking around and looking around. You start looking around once you've got the carom. This could be good or bad depending how thick he hits this 3 ball when he hits it. Well, that's not bad. I don't know whether... Well, where's the hell's the bloody camera going? Hang on a minute. Let's have a look. This is a wee bit dicey. You can go wafer thin off the 3 and still catch that 5. You don't have to force follow. It's wafer thin on the 3. Oh, I don't like this. Look at there's a line there from the 3 to the 5. Yeah, he's trying to pick a line that wasn't there. He was obviously avoiding to pot the 3 in the side, but if he'd looked at that close enough, it was thin, and you could have got to the 5. And again, Tommy's got an easy start. And this 3 ball's coming around nicely here, I think. And that's a good shot. He may well have to... I don't know whether he wants to try and stun that 5, the 3 around the table. No, he's trying to clip it. He's got to avoid a double kiss, and that's what happened to the double kiss. And this is Christmas come early here for Spud Boy. Let's have a look. Well, he's got an easy starter. And the double kiss was always a danger with that shot Tommyy was trying to play. Now, the 1 ball's isolated. Now, again, if he comes off, he doesn't want to catch this 5 ball thick, because if he does, he's only separating them. Oh, that'll work. Well, maybe not. Hang on. Yeah, well, the shot is on. If he goes thin edge of the 5, goes to the rail with loads of left English and comes in. And he knows what he's doing. I mean, I've said that. He's been around VP for donkey's years, and he's enough experience to know the shot that's on, and that's what he's doing. Needs to be wafer thin. Yeah, you see, it had to be thinner than that. And again, Tommy's set up. And this is all Spud Boy's points here from that visit. This could have been him at the table still. But it really was wafer thin with the English. Oh, Tommy's trying to be really cute. But it's still a chance for Spud Boy. Now, you've got to look at where the 5 ball's going, because if you're drawn off the 5 to the 3, The 5 ball has got to be hit hard enough that it's going to come down near this 1. And if he's going 3 to the 5, the 3 ball has to come enough pace to come back up the table. You can't just go isolating balls here. You've got to think about your productivity. Now this angle that he's playing the 5 ball at, or he's looking at, I didn't like that. But if he's going to play this 3, he's going to have to hit it fairly firm, or it's no good to anybody. Now that's a good pace. He's going to be blocked out by the 3 though. He's going to be blocked out. Now let's see what your options are here. If you try the force follow, you're going to probably send a 3. Let's have a look. Now if he brought the cue round, I don't think he can get it by that side. I'm looking at the line. Now if he kept a cue behind that 3, I could get a better idea as to whether he could. I think he would end up pushing the 3 into the 1 or the 5. I don't know whether he can get from this line. No, that's never going to happen. And once again, Tommy's been gifted. See, this is what you have to be watching. That you don't leave just an easy starter. And he tried a shot that frankly wasn't on. And, well, this will need to be wafer thin. You've got to get zoomed right in and trust your eyes with this shot. He looks as if he's missing the 1 to my eyes. Now he's looking as if he's hitting it. Yeah, you see, that's how difficult it is. And Spud Boy again. Look at this. Well, I'd be hitting that 5 ball fairly thick because I don't want to send it any closer to the pocket. I think you've got to hit the 5 ball a bit thicker. You see, all he's done is brushed it dead, and it's no good to him now. Even that little shot there needed that little bit of thought. He had to hit that 5 ball much thicker so that it came up this way. And he still would have had the carom. The carom was not difficult. But all he's done is safe the carom, but not thought about what's going to follow. And of course, having done that, he's more or less killed the 5 ball for Tommyy as well. But he's only a point behind Tommyy, Spud Boy. And I wonder whether Tommy's going to decide to bite the bullet here and pot the 5. I don't think Tommyy wants to piss about, if you know what I mean. I think he wants to try and get this over and done with. And he's done his best to keep the 5 out of the pocket. And he's got a dangerous carom to follow if he wants to risk getting to the 3. Because if he hits the wrong side of the 3, he's heading into the hole. Or he's going directly into the hole. Or he's not getting there at all. Well, that was close. But at this stage, any carom is vital. He's back to a 2-point lead. Well, you've got to spin this off the short rail right into the 1 if you want to have a go at it. Looking at the 1 to the 3, that's a dodgy line. This looks good if it spins. Oh, the 3 balls get in the way. And again, once again, for about the 4th time, Tommy's got a gift set up here for him. And that's more or less killed his run. Well, he has a line off the 1 ball to get to the 3. has a line off the 3 ball. But again, there's a risk of the double kiss here off this 3. I think it'd be better to go from the 1 to the 3. Well, I know what I'd be playing. I'd be going 3 ball. Because I'd be taking the risk, you see, that's the difference. I'd be going 3 ball down and trying to get into that 5 ball from that side. And if you're going from the 1 to the 3, I think the line's there to do it. The middle pocket's in the way, he's trying to cut it and get to it. And I think Tommyy can overcut the 3 and try and get to that long rail and get into the 1 ball that way. And he's got to overcut the 3 though, so that it's hitting that knuckle there. Oh, he's gone direct. But each time though, Tommy's pulling away and he's on 99. And he's just lost all his points. Well, that's a crazy shot there by Tommyy. And I think Tommy's feeling the pinch here. I mean, he's on 98. Spud Boy's not got a lot going for him here, it has to be said though. But whatever he does, the fatal thing would be to leave anything easy for Tommyy. Tommyy on 98. Spud Boy chooses to get the 5 in play, which you've really got to do. You've got to give yourself that chance. You've got to take that risk. Tommy's not got an easy starter, but he has got the carom. But the 5 ball's gone outward as well. And this, again, if you're brave enough, you've got to go for the 3 railer. The 1 ball is over the pocket. Well, he's trying to get to the 1 directly. Not the shot I would have played. 5 ball was a much bigger target. And plus the fact you've left yourself the set up for the scratch off the 1. The 1 ball still remains there. And this time, it's vital that Spud Boy doesn't leave anything easy. Now, you don't have to play to get a carom every time you're in the carom phase. You can try and just knock balls outward and make it difficult. He certainly does not want to bring that 3 ball anywhere near the 5. He could send the 3 over to the top left-hand corner pocket and try and get to the 1. Well, to me, that's fatal. Making that shot right now. Because Tommyy can stun to the 1. And if he gets lucky and this 1 ball finishes nice, he'll have the outshot. But that was not the time to pot the 1 ball. Oh, he's actually, well, that's what happens in Cowboy. You know, Tommy's looking home and dry there, and he's potted the 5. And admittedly, again, Spud Boy's not getting. I mean, it's the exact opposite. When Tommyy makes a mistake, Spud Boy's left nothing easy, and when Spud Boy makes a mistake, Tommy's probably going to finish the rack next visit. Right, let's have a look. Well, you see, he's got, again, this 3 ball's too close to the 1. And unless Spud Boy gets a carom here, Tommyy will have a chance to get to this 1 ball. He's probably going to draw into the short rail and try and kick into the 1. Or he could thin the 1 and bump the 3, so he's got choices. And what's more, he may well keep that 1 ball right over the pocket, just like that. And there you go. Now, That's where Spud Boy went wrong. The mistake was potting the 1 ball. Okay, Tommyy fouled the 5, but he killed his chances right there and then by potting the 1 ball at the wrong time. But I mean, that rack there, Spud Boy was in with a chance, and that's all you're asking, is get yourself to that phase in the caroms where you've got a chance. Now, it wasn't left anything easy to get him going, and Tommyy had enough chances eventually to go over the line. But above all, that should give Spud Boy encouragement. Just 1 or 2 little things that didn't go in his favour, and Tommyy each time coming to the table having an easy starter. Okay, he didn't make an awful lot out of them, he just made like the odd point here and there, but it's so vital in the carom phase that you get the points and above all keep them. Well, Spud Boy trying to kick into the 2 of them because he's blocked off by the 3. No, he's trying. I thought he was going to try and kick. He can get to off the 5. Well, again, not a difficult 5 ball to pot and a guaranteed carom to follow. Well, he could still stun off the 1 onto the 3. See, he always looks to me that he's putting too much draw in the cue ball. You don't need that amount of bottom in the cue ball just to stun it into the 3. Well, once again, the balls are not sitting too bad. I'd be potting the 3 and rolling up past the side pocket. Now, Spud Boy, see, sometimes Cowboy players just look at the 5 ball. If it's on the table, they look at the 5 ball for the points. And that's not always the best ploy. You've got to look at what your next shot's going to be. And he's got to get top side of the 5. And has he gone far enough? He's just gone far enough. And this is a simple little force follow. There's the yawning has started. Now, 5 ball has just gone into the kitchen. Spud Boy is the wrong side of the 1 ball to pot it in terms of coming near the kitchen. He's running away from the kitchen. Now, he should be potting the 1, just a gentle dink, and leaving himself that shot from the 1 to the 5, which he has done. Again, he looks as if he's digging into this cue ball. He doesn't need to. You just need to let it run off the 1 onto the 5. That always worries me. And he ended up getting a double kiss off that 5, which hasn't really done him an awful lot of harm. Although, again, he's going to be at distance. Now, who's... Oh, that's Bav, isn't it? I've seen Bav in the lobby. Welcome. Now, here's the test. It's not the 5 to the 1 I'd be going for. It's the 1 to the... sorry, not the 3 to the 1. It's the 1 to the 5, because to me, you can't miss that. you're always hitting the 5. And again, all you need is the thickness of this one ball. You could use a wee bit of spin, but it's better for you to use the angle and not kill yourself stone dead. Well, he's got a cut in the 1. See, he's still got a choice. He's got a cut in the 1 or a pot in the 5. Now, if he pots the 5, the only worry there is the angle that he's potting the 5 at means the cue ball's coming this way. Now, the 5 goes on its spot. Now, if you know the cue ball's coming this way, then you must come far enough. You must get through. You don't want to block yourself off to the 5. And that's a good shot. I mean, that's perfect. I mean, he's got a nice little force follow. Not a problem. He's looking at it. Now, this 5 ball is going to go to the rail and go this way, depending on the pace he plays it at. But the 5 ball should still be in play. He doesn't need to bang this in. If it goes too far, well, that'll work. Although now, he's going to have to pull off the pot with the 3 ball. It's definitely not the 1. It's definitely going to be the 3. Now, again, if you plain ball the 3 and don't take any risks, you're leaving everything at distance. But the cue ball is finishing in this bit somewhere. And you would still have the possibility of the 1 to the 5. You've just got to take your medicine. I don't think he wants to get too greedy here. I think he just wants to make sure of the 3 and not let the cue ball run away. So he's got too much pace in that. Well, the commentary booth has got a spare seat in it, Slim. Although I'm not in there, I hasten to add. I haven't got Discord switched on, but the commentary booth is vacant. Where's this 1 ball going? Well, Spud Boy's contribution was 26. And that's 26 more than Tornado Tam got for most of the afternoon on his visits. So that's a nice little start for Spud Boy. Well, I think, I'll say this right now. I think if Spud Boy played a lot more Cowboy, I think, you know, you've got to apply yourself to this game and play it for a period of time. But I think if Spud Boy played this game if he gave it 6 months, where he was playing Cowboy regularly, I think he would pick the game up a lot better. And he would start seeing these shots a lot better as well. Alright, well, forget that, Slim, if you're signed up to the tourney. Oh, I never noticed. If I'd seen the chat on, not the chat, the messages on screen there, I would have seen it, or the alerts, I should say. Well, Tommy's going to have to dig out a shot here. He's going for the old draw shot. 5 ball's going to probably be in or over the pocket. Or maybe a wee bit awkward where it's went to now. Yeah, that's not to be trifled with, that 5 ball. But again, if he can stun the 1 and get up past the 3, he's trying to get high enough where he can get into that 5 ball. Now, he can probably get it from behind here. It's got to be thin. Well, it looks as if he's punching the 1 around the angles and running through. Yeah. And this time, he can get the 5 in play, and the 3 ball's handy where the 5 ball's going to spot. So, chance for Tommy to get his first contribution on the board. Who is it you play tomorrow again, Slim? Oh, you're playing Jose. See, Jose can put runs together as well. I think you'll just be a bit more consistent, I would think, Slim. But what I would say is, if Jose gets to the caroms, it's anybody's match then. If Jose stays in it and gets to the caroms along with you, can get there first, then it's not going to be necessarily a cakewalk. Oh, excuse me, guys. I'm going downhill rapidly. What time is it? It's 9:15. Well, this started at 7:30, so that's an hour and a quarter, and we're nowhere near anywhere in this second rack. Always. Well, Spud Boy, for his sake, didn't have a lot of points on the board in that visit because they've gone. And once again, it's an easy start for Tommyy. Try and pot the 5 and carom the 3, but he didn't get the pot. Now, the fact that he had ball in hand, he should have given himself a guaranteed certainty there. He was potting the 5 and caroming the 3. Where's the cue ball going? I think it's just going to go south. Is it? No. Hung on by the skin of its teeth. Well, it's a 5 and a spin over to the 3. Well, he's not picked a line at all there. That was not a difficult carom to the 1 ball. And Tommy's contribution only 4. Well, this is the ideal and the standard scenario here for Cowboy when you come to the table. Pot the 1 ball, get it on its spot, and stay up top above the 3 ball for the 3-5. So that you don't need to slam this in. Just pot it and let the cue ball do the rest with the pace it's on it to come off the rail and out. And don't go too far and leave yourself straight. And that is just a wee bit short. I would much rather have the 3 ball to the 5 than the 5 to the 1. Again, it's just got to be thin and hit that 1 ball, half ball either side and not have the pace to scratch like that. Oh dear. Now that's how tricky it is when you play those. And I think he's dead on the 1 ball. He can't get near it. And he's dead on the 5 as well. I mean, I think he can just see the 3 and no more. He can't do anything else. He can't get to the 1. He can't get to the 5. I'm pretty certain he can't. He's right behind the tip. And he can only see the 3. And he's on a pot. Now, he can't even get the potting angle in the 3, I don't think, either. And he tried to scratch another pocket. Well, it's a good attempt at the bank, I presume. But, again, only the 2 points for Spud Boy, and what is it? Only a 1 point lead. Well, there's a handy fluke. and an easy setup for the follow-up carom. And I think what we'll do at the moment, well, we'll see this shot. I want to go and have a look at the... Yeah, he's getting into it too much. I want to have a look at the bracket. So Spud Boy's getting opportunities here where Tommy's not scoring. Now, where is this match? There it's there. So the winner of this match goes through to play the winner of Bankster and Hervey. Now, Hervey will be the favourite for that match. Slight favourite, I would say. But if it's Hervey against Tommyy, that'll be an interesting match to watch. If it actually ends up being that way the tie works out, that'd be interesting to watch those two. And meanwhile, Spud Boy back at the table. He's potted the 5. Got to go thin. And if he's potting the 3, which he should do, he wants to get up top. See, this shot here in the 3, I'd be stunning it, so I'm going up there. So a sort of draggy stun shot, if you know what I mean, just to bring the cue ball up this end. I wouldn't be just rolling it. Well, rolling it as long as you don't block behind the 3. And that'll do it. He looks to have a decent enough line for this this force follow. If you'd hit it hard enough, Spud Boy, you'd always have the secondary backup shot. You've got to hit them harder when you've got a line like that. You know, if you miss the edge of the 5, he's running right smack bang on top of the 1. Yeah, if you've got that sort of shot, you've always got to play it as a 2 and 1. Just to make sure you get there. And if you don't get the edge of the 5, then you're running in a line dead onto the 1. You wonder how long it will be before Tommyy puts something together here to pull away in this rack. Well, the chances are this is going to be at distance again from the 5 to the 3. Well, it is on. There's plenty of room past the 3 ball with the 5 ball. But these are so tricky to judge. Now, I think it's going to come back and clip it. Oh, has it got there? No. Well, he must have been a hair's breadth away. Well, not that far. Now, can Spud see the 1? That's the question, because he's usually left with nothing. And he can't. Would you believe it? He's got no shot. Well, nothing easy, put it that way. He's got to watch that side pocket there when he's playing off this 3. This looks good. I like that. That was well done. Right, again, if you're potting the 5, you roll through far enough So you've got the 3. Now, even if the cue ball goes to the side rail, now why is he coming back? It's simple enough to roll forward. But you've got to roll forward far enough. You need to keep rolling, and you've got to pot them. So basic pots you can't be missing, because it's just a straight in pot. When Tommy's almost put himself on top of the 3. And I think it's just, you know, we're all sitting here thinking, well, Tommy's going to put something together at some point that could be fatal for Spud Boy's chances in this rack. But at the moment, well, Tommyy can't pot a ball. And again, the contribution is only 7. And I mean, if you want all the encouragement you want, you're going to get it from this, Spud Boy. How much more encouragement do you need? Right, so the pot and the 3 and the carom. And this is a no-brainer. Open table. And pot the 1. Come through off the 1. Stay in the kitchen and leave the 1 to the 5. There's no more thought involved. That's the shot. And once again, if you're going to go harder than that, you want to be outside the kitchen and above the 1 ball, but it's a lot simpler just to stay below the 1 ball here. And he's gone above it. And he's gone high enough. But the problem is, look at the line where the 5 ball is. The 5 ball's out the kitchen. I wish I'd looked at the 1 ball spot there before he played that shot. I think he still should have stayed in the kitchen. He's gone too high. And he's going to have to draw it into it. And that's a nice tidy little shot. 1 ball in play. Oh, it's gone in the hole. Well, that's fine. You can pot the 5. And now again you have a straight choice here. Do you pot the 5 and kill the cue ball for the 5-3? Or let's have a look at the line. Well, the line's running up towards the 3 off this 5. So ideally you want to miss the 3 ball here. And that will work. So he's not gone far enough through. So as you get the 2 choices a shot, but he's got a decent shot on this this 5-1. Welcome to Bill. Well, if you haven't seen any of this so far, Spud Boy had a chance in that first rack. He stayed with Tommyy in the caroms. Tommyy just drifted away in the caroms eventually. Spud Boy wasn't exactly getting any run of the ball from whenever Tommyy missed in the carom. Spud Boy was left with nothing, and it was exactly the opposite. Each time Tommyy came to the table, he had an easy carom. He didn't really make much more out of it other than like single caroms, but he eventually found his way out. And at the moment, Spud Boy on a run of 24. He's now gone a wee bit awkward because he's going to have to pull off a pot, but it's a fairly straightforward 3 ball. And he might want to stay below the 3 ball here, but I don't think the angle's conducive to that. He's having to run away a wee bit. Yeah, I think he'd be better off. Now he's got to come further down the table. I think that might be okay. Oh, that's fine. I mean, he'll probably pot the 5 and carom the 1 here. But he's got to hope that he leaves a shot on this 1 ball, because it's a pot after this. The fact that he's potting the 5 is just part of the shot. He's having to play the carom. Well, he isn't potting the 5, which might not be a bad thing, because he's ugly in the 1 and he's got a reasonable shot in the 5. But again, well, Spud Boy struggled to pot straight in 5 balls. How is he with a little cut angle? He missed a straight in 5 ball earlier on. But just to come to his defence, he's not familiar with the 10-foot table. And again, he's struggling to find that line. But that's still a good little contribution from Spud Boy, 28. And he's made some nice little contributions so far. And, well, Tommy's not far behind. And we're now 90 minutes into the match. Oh, the carom has been missed. And it's playing to a similar pattern, this second rack. Here's another shot on the 5 ball for Spud Boy. Slightly offline. This time he's got it. But the cue ball has come down into the table. And he's going to have to pull off another tricky follow-up carom. Oh, has he got it? Did he catch it in the way by? Yes, he did. Barely. Barely and no more. Well, you've got to pot the 3. You've got to go for the 3. The chances are, at best, you'll have a 5 to the 1 carom. He might not have a lot more going for him after this, but it depends how brave he wants to be potting this. I mean, you could put a bit of power in this and get the cue ball to try and get up and top side of the 3. See, if he'd hit that with a lot more pace, look at the line that the cue ball's taken. That would have came there and into here. See, now he would have been still looking at a possibility, a choice of 2 shots. He would have certainly had the 3 to 5. So even that little shot there with a wee bit more thought and the pace that you pot it at, you could have made your life a bit easier than this. Now is the spin working? Yes, it is. Well, again, it's gone ugly. Can he see the 1? Oh, he can. Now, you just leave the cue ball there from the 5 to the 1. You don't need to draw out the kitchen. I mean, if you're drawing out the kitchen, it's got to go high enough, but why give yourself more work? And now he's bumped to 5, but I think he's got away with it. He goes to 72. Now, can Spud Boy get to the caroms before Tommyy? Again, slightly more angle on the 1 ball, but again, I'd be playing this with a bit of top and right spin just to make sure I go through and come off the rail. I don't know what he's doing. He's got to find the potting line first. Just a tiny tad of right spin. So again, he's coming up top, but look at where the kitchen line is. Far too much juice in that. He can still get there, but he's just going to have to bang this a wee bit more unless he goes to the rail to come into the 5. Just a wee bit more pace needed here. Now, again, you're just hoping you have a shot on, and he still has. He's on, what, 75? He's got the 3 ball, and if the cue ball takes a crack where it's going, he would have the 5 to the 1. And now he's looking at the 1, but again, it's the 3 ball and just stay up there. Just pot the 3. You don't need to do anything else other than pot the 3 and just let the cue ball roll out. But it doesn't need to be hit firm. Just pocket weight. And that is fine. That's ideal. That is fine. That takes him to 78. Now he's going to send the 5 ball down towards this pocket. But the cue ball might be isolated here off this carom. Depends on how thick he hits the 1. And that's fine because he's kept the 5 in play. The 1 ball's now gone dead. But all you're worried about now is just keeping your points. Now, what can you do with this 5 ball to give yourself a possible follow-up shot? Well, you stun it in and you come down this way. You don't see, again, he's not getting into it. He's chickened out a bit, and this is dangerous. This is dangerous because if you catch that or a double kiss or something dark can happen into that side pocket. Whenever a ball's like that, you think it's maybe not going to happen, but stranger things happen involving side pockets and balls close to them. Well, he's tried to be delicate to make sure, but again, he's kept his points. He's an 84. But Tommyy is in nowhere near great shape here. He's going to try and chip the 1. And that's well played. Well, he might be... well, he's on a pot anyway, so it doesn't matter. He's fine as far as that goes. Well, I think the problem here is getting out of the way of the 5 ball, trying to get to the 1, so he's stunning down to the 3, I think. Yeah. And Tommyy has the pot and the 3, and well, it can easily come off the 3 and come in the gap between the 1 and the 5. I don't think there'd been any risk of hitting him, but he played the air on the safety side there to make sure he didn't get any more of any more points than he needed to get to 90 there. After I liked Home Alone 2 better. And any Home Alones after that, I've never seen any of them, but I can guarantee they were probably shit. Because I don't think, was Joe Pesci in any of the other ones? I mean, he was in the first 2, but I would doubt whether Joe Pesci and the other guy were in any of the other ones. And, well, neither was Macaulay Culkin either. See, when they try to milk a franchise like that, when you don't have the original actors in it, you know, you stop at Home Alone 2 and that's it. You've made your bankroll. You know, you've made your money from your investment. I've never seen any of the other ones. You know that? I've never seen any of them. I don't even know how many there is, but I know there was Home Alone 3. I don't know whether there's a Home Alone 4, but you know something else? I'll never see any of them. Well, Spud Boy is on the brink here. Now, he's got to be careful with this 1 ball. He's trying to get to the 5, but he's got to watch where he's sending this 1 ball. Oh, he's missed it. You're only winding us up, Slim. I don't think there's a Home Alone 5. Well, no problem for Spud Boy now to get to 89. Oh, I thought it said Home Alone. I've just read it. I'm sitting back in my chair. I think your brain just tells you when you see ONE, you think it's Home Alone. And I thought, I'm reading it. My eyes have gone anyway at this time of night. It's already past my bedtime. I wonder if it's time for putting the heating off. I think it is. Let's have a check at the temperature. The last time the temperature update was 8:30. It's still -4. Right, I'll be back in a second, guys. I'm just going to put the heating. Right, I'm back. Oh, Tommy's on 90. Spud Boy on 90. Well, is he going direct? Because this is dangerous again. I would always go to the rail and spin it in behind the 5. Yep. Not in good shape for a follow-up, but at least he did the right thing. Now, there is a 2-in-1 shot on. And again, you don't need spin. All you need is a line off that 3-ball. Somewhere like that. That's probably not a great line, but that's what you're looking for, a 2-in-1 shot here. I see he's got that too thick. Had to be thinner. Got to trust your eyes. Oh, that's unlucky. Right, how do we get to the 5-ball? Well, the line off the 1-ball from this angle would be sort of, let's have a look at that line. Would it be like that? Or would it be missing it? Probably missing it at that angle. But there's also the line off that 3-ball. Well, there have been a couple of sort of 2-in-1 shots on there for Spud Boy, but he's only ever played to the one ball. Scores are tied, 91 all. Tommyy trying to draw into the one. Dangerous. Got to watch the pace and you don't get it straight on, or the 3-ball going over the hole like that. So now the 3-ball's dead. Well, it's difficult to score when you're stuck with just the 2 balls. And the way they're isolated, you've always got to be running the cue ball. Well, you certainly don't want to pot the 3-ball here, Spud, because the 3 goes on its spot. Well, there is a 2-railer to the 1 ball off the right hand side of this 5 down in the bottom rail. He's not even looking at it. And I don't know why. Well, again, Spud Boy misses, and he's set up Tommyy with a carom to start again. And each time Tommyy will get 1 carom and not a lot else unless things fall into place here, but he's still just pulling away from Spud at the crucial time, and that's what happened in the last rack. Spud just got himself bogged down by not having an easy starter, and Tommyy just creeps away 1 point after another. Now, it's a risky shot here to pot the 3. I mean, you can try and get right up into the pocket next to the 3. But if you pot the 3 and you keep the cue ball up the top of the table, you're leaving a possible 1 to the 5, but there's still a big enough gap behind that 5 that Tommyy could end up scooting round behind it. At some point, this 3-ball must come and play. It's no good where it is. And it is a risk playing this. I mean, if he leaves the cue ball up in that corner, there's a possible 3 to 5 as well. And Spud has gone straight into the pocket. And the 1 ball is out the kitchen. 5-ball can't be played. And he's trying to spin from the rail into the 5 and not scratch. And now he's blocked out on the 1 ball. But it's another carom and he goes further away. I would still run the cue ball right up into that 3-ball, just right up on its left side, and try not to scratch, just to leave it awkward for Tommyy, because this is not productive at all, and it's not doing Popman's any chances, or it's not doing him any good for opportunities, I should say. Let me have a look at this. See, if you get the cue ball right in there, I don't think you're going to leave an awful lot on. And it would have actually given Tommyy the choice to try and just nudge the 3 and get it out. if he wants to be getting nearer to the end of this rack than hanging about for another half hour here messing about with 2 balls. Well, he's trying to go dead weight. Oh, did he get any of that? Oh, that was so unlucky. I don't think it could have got any closer there without knocking it in the pocket. Well, again, Spud Boy can at least get one of these caroms back. It's going to be tough though. See, I'm drawn to these shots straight away. That's the shot I'd be playing. And Spud Boy just content to keep his 1 point, but I would have ran that 3 rails without hesitation. But again, it's not a great shot from the point of view of Spud Boy leaving Tommyy a starter to get another point and just drift away further and further. And he moves on to 96. And he's also got a good chance here at getting from that 5 to the 1. Might have to use a wee bit of spin though to help the line here, because I think he wants to go before the side pocket, but maybe with a bit of spin. Now he's trying acrobatics here. I don't know what the hell he tried there, but that certainly wasn't the shot I'd be looking at. And at no time have these balls in a position where you could say, well, I can risk potting the 3 ball because I'm not going to leave anything easy for Tommyy. Spud Boy sort of backed into a corner here, trying to make do with what there is. Well, this time he's got a little edge, and the 5 ball is going to go dead in the rail and he'll have no shot because it's lined up here. And there ain't much you can do with that. Now what he could do is, he could sacrifice his point. Now if the 3 ball goes on its spot, which is there, and you leave the cue ball there, you're not leaving an awful lot of easy shots here for Tommyy. This might be the time to play the shot. I mean, you lose a point, you lose the carom you've made, but sometimes you might have to sacrifice just to move the game on. I think I would have lost patience there and potted the 3 and just left the cue ball in the pocket, right where the 3 ball is. I would have took a risk doing it. You see, now that the 1 ball's back in play, you might have to wait another half hour to get any sort of notion that you can pot that 3 and give yourself a chance. You know, a chance to actually accumulate something on any visit that you might get. Because all that Tommy's going to do is going to gradually pick these off one at a time and get there eventually. It's inevitable. Now, does he stunt to the rail or is he playing the force follow? Well, he had the right idea, he just didn't have the line. Now, if that was me, again, if I can see that 3 ball, I'm just going to pot it and leave the cue ball there and take a risk. And well, Tommy's content to leave things as they are and just try and get them one by one, because he doesn't want to give any encouragement to Spudboy to get back into this, and I think that's the right thing to do as well. It's going to take longer to get there, but he's quite content to do it. Now it needs to miss the 1, and he's going to scratch, would you believe it? Oh no, he hasn't. Yes, he has. And there they go. And Spudboy, once again, back at the table, ball in hand. And not a good time to pot the 3 ball. Well, he's looking at the 3 now. Well, I think he's just kidding me on. Is he trying to get to the left side of the 3? It's really tight. That might be what he's trying here. The danger though is he's sending the 1 ball up to the top right hand corner, and if he doesn't get there, well, he's not. He's playing it dead thin. And nothing's happening here with this 3 ball as it is. And Tommy's quite content to do this all night. Eventually he's going to get the points. Now, once again, I would pot the 3 ball and leave the cue ball in the corner. If Tommy's going to make something out of it, he's going to have to play a shot. Neither of which would be easy. Spudboy can play from the 1 back to the 5 if he wants, but I think he's got to make a move at some point, and now would be as good as any to get rid of the 3 and get it on the spot. Well, this is my favourite shot. Every day of the week. And just chip that 1. Better still going that line, and into the 1 that way. And he's not hitting them with any weight at all to get there. Had the right idea though. And yet again, Tommyy adds to his collection, takes him to 97. One ball is almost dead where it's sitting, and Tommyy took the risk. And Spudboy is going to have a start here, but it's going to be an awful long haul for Spudboy. I think Spudboy's played himself out of this rack here. He's had a couple opportunities where he could have took a risk and got that 3 ball potted, and he's refused to do it. And now if he does it from here, he'd be a numpty, because the 1 and 5 are set up. No, he's going to play the carom, but I mean, again, how hard a job is this going to be with these 2 balls and the way they're sitting? If he tries to play the 1 to the 5, he's in danger of potting the 1 in the side pocket, I think. Well, this is going nowhere. He's got 2 caroms on the board, and all he's got to do is just roll onto the 1 or something and make sure he gets the rail, because he's getting nothing else from it. Well, now's the time to pot the 3, Tommy, because Spud Boy can't play the 1 and the 5 carom. See, again, I have no idea why he played that, when it was far easier to pot the 3 and leave Spud Boy to bring the 5 into play. He was never going to get a carom from it. Or at least it would have been so difficult. Well, to criticise Spud Boy in one way, the other aspect of Cowboy is, especially at this sort of setup, when you're the one that's trailing and you're trailing further and further, was to try and be productive. I mean, we're still all square here. He's in with a great chance. But to work with these 2 balls, we could be here for another half an hour or more trying to finish this rack. But this part of the strategy is, there comes a time where you have to make a move to give yourself the best chances of getting out of here. It might work against you, but how long do you want to sit doing this? Well, that's all went wrong. Because again, it's been potted at the wrong time. The 3 ball's on its spot. The 5 is in play. And well, Tommyy might slam this down to the 1 ball. He could play the draw if he's not potting the 3 ball, that is. But now we've got a chance of finishing the rack. And in one way, I'm glad that the 3 ball went in, because I don't want to be here all night. As much as these guys are fine with where they are, well, Tommy's an hour in front of me, so I don't know whether he's got a job to go to in the morning. But it's already 10:30 his time. Well, there is a little 2-3 railer off the 3 to the 5. And I think he got one earlier on in the match. Something like this. That's going too narrow, I think. Yeah. And Tommyy can go 1 to the 3. Off the rail. No, he's went direct. Oh, this might work if that 3 ball stays in the rail. Yes, it does. And look at where the 1 ball is. And this is all over this rack. He's got to play the carom here. I think he's got to play this a wee bit firm to make sure he doesn't block himself off. Let's have a look. Oh, this is awkward. Yeah, this is it's going to be tough here for this 1 ball to get out of the way. He looks as if he's going around the table, is he? No, he has called that pocket, trying to help it in there, but the spin actually caught the tit and checked it anyway. But Tommyy is on the brink of 2-0 here. And Spud Boy, well, it's not pretty, but he can go from the 1 down to the 5. If he misses the 5, maybe play this with a wee bit of right English in case you go through to the rail at the top end and maybe go to the side rail into the 3, just in case you miss the 5. Let's have a look at the line. No, he might be trying to go to the 3 direct. Oh, there's a bonus. A twofer, as we call it. Takes him to 98. And now again, I would be playing the 1 ball here, and I'll tell you why. Because the 1 ball, I'm going to overcut it, probably to the short rail, and I'm going to take the risk in getting the carom in the 3 or the 5. The reason is I don't want to leave the 1 ball there, and Spud Boy should be doing that, unless he can spin into the 5. But if he misses this, he's leaving Tommyy the outshot, and this could be fatal. Yeah. This is sayonara, Spud Boy. You should have played the 1 because it's a 2-in-1 shot, in the sense that you're probably leaving the 1 ball upward and leaving it where it was. It's an open invitation here for Tommyy. And that's where you make the wrong move at the wrong time. And he's got the double kiss. And Spud Boy lives again. And once again, he can hit the 3 ball, the 5 ball thick up top and come to the 1. He's not looking at it. Is he trying to draw to the 3 off this? I would always be playing the 5. No, he's going to scratch. Well, the good news about that is Tommy's definitely got no shot. Well, Tommyy, I'm not sure whether he doesn't understand the rules or whether he's just doing that to get the 1 ball in play. But the 1 ball's now on its spot, so it is in play. But he sacrificed ball in hand to Spud Boy and asked him the question. Okay, here you are. You've got ball in hand, so do what you want with the cue ball and try and get that first carom. And if you can, the 1 ball might be handy to get to the 3 ball next. And this is a very good chance for Spud Boy. He's on 99, but he's got to keep the 1 ball in play. He doesn't want to kill this dead on a rail just to make the carom. He's not going to have a follow-up outshot, or at least nothing that's going to be easy. And that's what he's done. Well, it's not easy, but this is just wafer thin down the rail. You brush it and no more. And maybe you want to play it with a wee bit of left in case it catches the knuckle, just to draw it into the pocket. I don't know whether he dare risk it, but it's got to be wafer thin. A chance to square the match, and it's in. And Tommyy potted the 1 to get the 1 in the spot, and Spud Boy was asked the question, and Spud Boy has come up with the answer. And that was a good out by Spud Boy. Got the 3 points that he needed. And that 1 ball just had to lie somewhere to give him a chance, and he got that chance and he took it, and that was well done. And it's going to be a long night. Are you in that Cowboy tournament, Slim? Or did the Cowboy tournament go ahead? Because what was going to say is, if you're not in the Cowboy tournament, I would get your stream warmed up, and do this as a second parter, because I want to get to bed. This is going to run on too long for me. It's already 20 minutes to 10, and it could be a long night. Well, whatever happens in this match, I think Spud Boy's made a game of it. Yeah, I'm up at 4 o'clock, yeah. I think Spud Boy has acquitted himself admirably, considering the circumstances. A table he's not all that familiar with, a game that he's not ideally comfortable with. But I think he's applied himself and he's tried his damnedest. And at least he's got a rack off Tommyy. But I like the way that he won that rack. I like the fact that Tommyy potted the one, got the one in the spot. Said to Spud Boy, well, there you go, see what you can do. And Spud Boy has delivered. Oh, Tommy's, I mean, that carom there needed just a wee bit of right spin. That was not a difficult carom to hit. A bit of right spin, you know that if you're missing it on the left side, the right spin will check it into the back of the 5. And the contribution was 24. Spud Boy has to match that and better if he can. Well, it's thin off the 5. Got to hit the 3. I mean, it looks none too difficult to get there. It's got to be thin though. Don't take any more of that 5 ball than you need. Oh, wouldn't you believe it? He's missed it. If he had a wee bit of spin on that, he would have always gone to the rail and chipped that 3. Tommyy, I think, was trying to get the additional point there for the open table. And now he's got a sort of similar shot off the 5. I don't know whether the angle's as good. Let's have a look. Yeah, he's trying to punch it around with spin. Oh dear. Oh, I'm struggling big time now. I have gone downhill rather rapidly. How long have we been on? 2 hours and 21 minutes. And we could be here another 2 hours and 21 minutes. And I ain't going to be here, folks. I'm going to have to pull the plug in the not too distant future. Well, you can get greedy here and pot the 5 and try and spin into the 3. The Spud Boy not picking the potting angle there in the 5. And there's a chance early on here that Tommyy could get away if he focuses. Well, again, that was nowhere near a difficult carom, that 5 ball, and this is going to scratch as well. That was such a big target to hit. You think you can never miss them. 5 ball, of course, dead in the kitchen, but the 1 ball, is it on its spot? The 1 ball's on its spot. He's got ball in hand. He could play 1 to the 5 carom to start with and get that 5 in play. Because again, he's going to have to kill the cue ball if he's going 1 to 3. Why not just play the carom to the 5? Well, Spud Boy's going to play the shot Tommy's just played and missed and try and spin into this 5. Again, it's pretty much unmissable, this carom. You just got to get that spin off the rail, get into the cue ball enough. That's better. Now he needs a shot down the rail, which he's got. Now, could possibly catch the side pocket here with the cue ball. A bit tentative in that 5 ball there. So Spud Boy's contributions have died very early on in this rack. He's only making 1s and 2s. Yeah, Cobra, I'm not going to be far behind you. Warm my side of the bed up first. I'll be there in about 10-15 minutes. Oh, he's missed it again, has he? No, he must have just caught a feather edge of it. Yeah, that's fine. That'll do. Nice and warm and toasty. I think he's missed it again. He's definitely missed it this time. I think Tommy's struggling with the lateness of this match and how long it's going on, and he knows it could be going on for a little while longer. I think he's beginning to tire. He could be going downhill rapidly as well. It's now 11:15 at night, his time. No, bad idea, Slim. I'm going to pull the plug. I'm so glad that it's not been a slaughter. I mean, whatever happens in the rest of the match, it's not been a slaughter for the first 2 hours. Well, as I say, I'll be home. I'll be home before their match starts. But as I say, I'll have something to eat first. I might miss the first 10 minutes of it, but I'll definitely be streaming it. No doubt about that. I mean, what you miss in the first 10 minutes is pretty much not a lot. You might miss a run, but certainly the rack won't be over by the time I get started. But what I'm more concerned about is the duration of this match and the way it's going. I mean, there could in theory be any outcome here, but if it was to go, I mean, nobody's won it in the next rack, so let's say this rack takes another 40 minutes. You know, that's us now looking at 10:30 my time, and whatever happens, it's only 2-1 to one of these players, and then you've got the next rack after that, which could in theory be 2-all. Now, if this was on my day off on Tuesday, it's not a problem, but there is no way I can last any longer for this, I'm afraid. And I'm annoyed at that, because I would have loved to have seen the end of this. Well, Tommy's got a 6-point lead. Spud Boy again, only 3 points. So Spud Boy's gone a wee bit flat. Right, I'll tell you right now, guys, there's 10 minutes to go until 10 PM. So I am pulling the plug at 10 PM. But I'm not leaving the PC and Discord on all night. Well, Spud Boy just needs anything sort of half decent here just to keep in touch. The 5-ball will cut, it's got to be chipped in, it's thin, probably right on the rail, near enough. Who are you talking to, Slim? Fire up your stream when you get home. I can Discord while you get something to eat. Who are you talking to there? Did I miss something in the chat? Oh, Bill's match. Oh, I can do that. I've not a problem with that. Because as soon as I get home, before I have something to eat, I'll put the PC on. Yeah, that's no problem. Well, Spud Boy's got a slight deficit. He's what I've lost count here. What is it? 8 points behind. No, Steve won't be around at that time of the day. That's too early. That's what time is that? That's 9 AM his time. He won't be up at that time of day. Or at least he won't be in commentating at that time of the day. I wouldn't expect it to be. Don't tell me he missed that 3-ball. No, he didn't. Yeah, and whatever happens, you're going to have to give me a rundown on the outcome of this match when I come online tomorrow. I want to know how it finishes. And a week ago, a week tomorrow, Monday, whatever matches are on the Sunday night, if there's any matches on Sunday night, I won't be streaming them because I have to be in bed at 8 p.m. and I've got to be up at 2 a.m. on Monday morning. I've got 3 days of that to go on Christmas week. I've got 4 a.m. starts at work, so and it is getting to the interesting matches as well. The more important matches are coming, and I'm going to probably miss them because I just simply can't. There's no way I can be here at that time of night. I've got to get to bed, and this has gone on a lot longer than we all thought it would. Let's be honest, we all thought it was going to be a clean sweep for Tommyy. It's not turned out to be the case. And right now we've got Spud Boy on a run of 27. Now gone to 28. He's got a fairly straight in pot in a 5 to take him into the 30s and stretch that lead a wee bit further. But Spud Boy's been working hard, and here's the dangerous one. This is the one. He's got his studness to get to the 1 ball, and he's got to watch how he hits it. This is always a scratch, and that's perfect. But has he got a shot to follow it up? Not really. And that's unlucky the way these have rolled out, but he played that shot nice, in a nice pace where he was never going to scratch off it. Right, we've got 5 minutes to go, guys. Well, if only this match started at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, that would have been fine. Well, Spud Boy keeps going. What a nice little recovery bank shot. Now, can he get the force follow here without running into the 1 again? Well, he's looking at getting this dead thin. And this is, well, at least if he misses the 1, he's bound to hit the 5. Well, that's excellent. Wafer thin hit on the 1 ball. He can pot the 5. Cue ball's going to be running a bit loose though. Well, again, this is another dangerous attempt at a carom. It's always dangerous. You know, 43 points is an awful lot of points to work for and then give them away. And he's sort of chickened out there, and I don't blame him. I don't blame him one bit, because the most important thing of all of that is it's a great little contribution by Spud Boy. It's 67 on the board and a 23-point lead at the moment, which is going to shrink a bit, no doubt. And Tommy's going to have problems as well. I think he can cut the 1 in, and he'll be heading in the right direction for the 3 to the 5, one way or the other, depending on what side of the table he's at. But he shouldn't really have a problem. But his problem is potting the balls, and Tommyy, I think, is feeling the the pangs of tiredness coming on, because you start doing stuff like that when you're tired, the concentration's gone, you're much more interested in your bed, but you can't help it because your brain's telling you that, and it's shutting everything down. The focus goes, concentration goes, and your mind is just shutting down. The brain needs to have sleep in preparation for the next day. Just a natural progression. Well, we're 2 minutes away and it's going to be good night, guys. I'm just sorry I can't stay to the end of this. I would have loved to have seen this out. Well, Tommy's back at the table. 13 points to make up. Should make them up here. Cut the 3 ball in. Probably a 5 to the 3 to follow, not necessarily the 3 to the 1. 5 ball to the 3 would be the safer shot. He's going to be going the force follow route. Now, who did Spud Boy play previously? Let us have a look. Where is it? Right. How did Spud Boy get there? Spud Boy lost 3-0 to Acero. Now, I wonder how, did anybody see that match at all? How did Spud Boy play in that match? Did he play anything like this, or was he really struggling? He lost it 3-0. Where's the refresh thing? How do you get rid of these red things when you bring them up? You can't get rid of them. Right, it's now gone to the top of the hour, guys. I am going to pull the plug. Do me a favour, Slim. See if you start, post the link. Post the link in the lobby, if you would. If I can get the bloody thing to work. Hang on a minute. Post the link to your stream in the lobby, Slim, and I'll hand it over to you. Because I want to see the end of this. Well, Tommy's run ends in 35, but it's a good contribution because it's got him 5 away from that vital carom phase, and there's a little bit of pressure on Spud Boy here. Now he's got an easy start. Hang on a minute, guys. And of course, if you post the link in the lobby, Slim, all the guys that are watching this, if they want to stay with the match, unless they're already subscribed to you, they can go directly to you. Ideally, if you're going to do that, make sure your VP4 is on the external browser rather than the internal browser. Well, this is the vital visit here for Spud Boy. He can get to 90 before Tommyy. Right. Oh, you've got no background on.
Okay, we got a link in the lobby, Hugh. Let me change the settings here. We need
This volume control in this internal browser's crap.
We need HUD on.
I'm just trying to listen to I don't know whether that's the actual level of the volume in the stream, but it needs to go up a bit.
Control U. All right, where are we at here?
Yeah, it's a wee bit low to me, that volume.
Okay,
But anyway,
hopefully I'm live. Everything is working as it should. Audio, game.
right.
Hugh, you can go to bed if you're listening.
Right, so that is it, guys. Slim has his stream up. Thanks to Slim for doing that. And if you want to continue watching the match with Slim's commentary, please go to that link in the lobby, and you can watch the finish of the match. I'm going to have to go to bed, so thanks all for watching, and I'll bid you good night and leave the rest up to Slim. And when I get home, and after I've seen the Bill match, I'll be watching the end of this match tomorrow afternoon. So take care, and I'll bid you good night. We'll see this final shot, but this could be a long one, folks. Spud Boy moves on to 81. Okay, guys, we'll see you later. Nip over to Slim's stream and you can enjoy the rest of the match. I'll see you tomorrow or some other day, whenever that might be. So I'll bid you all